This is how you actually reprogram your mind. That doesn't involve daily affirmations or listening to someone's affirmational video when you sleep. Like, let's admit, we cannot sleep listening to, I'm so confident. I'm attracting millions of dollars every month. It's like, I can't sleep. And so if I can't sleep, I'm not getting into those deeper brain waves. Like, let's just state the myth right here. Everybody is like, if you want to reprogram your subconscious mind, which ultimately determines your reality and gets into manifestation and all that, is that their whole concept is about when your brainwaves are the slowest, that's when you should reprogram your mind, which is right when you wake up and right when you fall asleep. And for me, it's hard to really focus on something while I'm falling asleep because then I'm not actually falling asleep. Or right when I wake up, I'm not really so involved in reprogramming my mind because I'm just waking up. And so these things don't actually work for me. And I found this way more effective way to reprogram your mind that is way more simple and practical. And all you literally need to do this is awareness. That is it. And I'm going to tell you exactly what this is, and this is how I actually manifested over 5K in 1 month by reprogramming my subconscious mind in this way. So let's get to it. All I do is that every single time I have a thought or have some sort of reaction in my mind that comes up, and it's not something that I want to physically experience. It's not something I want to attract in my life. I immediately change that story. I change that thought. And as many times as that thought comes up to my mind, the conflicting one, the one that I don't want to experience, I will change it. I don't care if it comes up 100 times, I will continue to change it, which for me, usually it hasn't. It's only been like a couple times that I actually need to restate the story for myself to actually start to believe that story. Because the thing is, when it comes to manifestation, you are always manifesting. And what you are manifesting is your beliefs. You are embodied in your beliefs. Even your unconscious beliefs that you don't even remember believing. But still, they are determining your reality. And a lot of times you can understand what those beliefs are by being aware of the kind of thoughts you have. Like a lot of people that believe that they are broke, let's just say, or they believe that they are poor. Every time they go to the grocery store, there's always a conflict. Why is this so expensive? Oh my god, I basically used half my paycheck to pay for these groceries. Oh my god. Like there's always a problem when it comes around spending money and giving money away generously too, is that every single time you have those thoughts or you have that constricting feeling, that smallness that you feel, you need to change the story. Every single time, do the reps. And that's how you actually change your beliefs. That's how you actually change your subconscious, because the more that you tell yourself a different story or a new belief, the more that it gets ingrained in your mind. And you just need to do this when the opposite belief comes up. That is it. You don't need to do it every single time you wake up. You don't need to do it every single time you fall asleep or when your brain waves are super slow or meditating on it. You just need to do it in your day-to-day life, because let's admit, so many people, they can't manifest because they do a one-time ritual or they do their visualization 10 minutes out of the day, but then the rest of the day they're embodied in these unconscious beliefs that are playing out in the back of their mind. And a lot of people don't even realize that they're playing out. They just think that's the way life is. That's the way my life is. That's the way the world works. No, it's your beliefs. And your beliefs are literally reflecting back in your reality. And that's why you think that's truth. That's why you think that that's the way life is because it's really your beliefs. And since you're getting that external sort of feedback of the information of your beliefs, you think that's true. You think that's reality, when really it's just your beliefs. And so the way you actually reprogram this is that you rewrite every single time you have that thought or that belief that isn't aligned with what you want to manifest, that isn't aligned with your experience. And this isn't to spiritually bypass at all, because I'm going to give you two examples here. You will know that you're spiritually bypassing because a lot of people, like, yeah, you can't just change your beliefs to avoid your wounds or to avoid how you truly feel about a situation, because you still need to acknowledge how you really feel. And some things you're going to have to go deeper into the rabbit hole of really figuring it out. And other things, it's like maybe you've already done the shadow work. Maybe you are already so aware of what those beliefs are, but yet you can't manifest those things because those beliefs are still playing out. The thing that's like so like BS about these like one-time shadow work things where it's like, okay, write down all your limiting beliefs about money. Okay, now burn it or throw it in the trash. Is that for so like long in our lives, we have been believing those beliefs. And so they are so hardwired in our minds that a lot of times they they're happening in our minds, or we're just reacting to things, but we're not even aware that we are reacting to those things or thinking those things, right? You just think like that's your normal because it's been normal for so long. And so that's why you need to have awareness to reprogram your subconscious mind. That's all that it is that you're bringing the unconscious gunk that you don't want to experience anymore, and you're bringing it to the light of your awareness to then shift it, to then shift the story. And sometimes you need to look at that story before you shift it. I'll just give you an example of my own personal experience. I believe one time I was manifesting acceptance, self love, whatever. And so, it's like you can do all the affirmations, you can do all the stupid rituals. I won't call them stupid, but they're unnecessary. Um, but it wasn't really until I started to look deeper into it and realize that, oh, maybe I didn't feel accepted by this family member, and that it reflected in me because I felt like they really saw who I was. And so I actually needed to go through this entire process of forgiving that person, understanding that person, understanding, the things that they projected on to me when I was younger, and really going through that whole forgiveness and that whole understanding to therefore sort of achieve, if you will, or be more embodied in this belief of fully accepting myself as I am. And so for me, that was the process. If I were to just look at myself in the mirror every day and be like, I accept you, I accept you. But deep down, I felt rejected by this one person, which therefore made me reject myself. If I wasn't willing to look at that and actually do the shadow work to look at that, I am just lying to myself. And I'm not really embodied because deep down, that's what it is. Now, second example, I was manifesting money. I was doing so many shadow work things about money. I wrote down all of my limiting beliefs probably a million times because that's what everybody's telling me when I watch all these manifestation videos on YouTube. Da da da. Okay, do this ritual. Okay, write down all your beliefs, burn them, or cross them out, and write down the opposite affirmation. I was not ever manifesting money until I did this. Until I just, every single time I was at the store and I felt like, wow, that was a lot of money. Why was that so expensive? Why is my gas so expensive? Always complaining about money, always complaining about what I'm getting paid, that I don't have enough money to do this, that I don't have enough money to do this. I can't do this because it'll cost me money. I don't have enough. Every single time I had that thought, and I became more aware of it when I was in my daily life, not when I was in a meditation. When I was in my daily life, I had that thought, I would immediately rewrite it, rewrite the exact opposite. I'm so grateful I have enough money to buy this. I'm so grateful that everything's already paid for. And I just kept telling myself that every single time that I had those limiting beliefs that I didn't want to experience. I'm already very much aware when I did the shadow work part of this, of acknowledging my old beliefs or my beliefs around money, that I always feel like I don't have enough money. Okay, I know that. I've probably written that down like a million times, restated the opposite as affirmation a million times. Nothing manifested because in my day to day life, when I was outside of that 10-minute ritual, I was in that unconscious programming. I don't have enough. This is too expensive. And so when I'm predominantly in that state, in that belief, that's what I'm seeing. And then it's just reaffirming that belief back into me that I don't have enough money. Like, look, I don't. And so you just need to rewrite it. Like, that's what I mean. Like, all these like manifestation things, are just extra things because you don't really need to do them. You don't need to do the dream board. You don't need to do the visualization, meditation. You don't need to do the scripting. All of this stuff is extra. Yes, you can still do it. Sometimes I do these things to gain more clarity and to make this belief more like concrete if it's like a really big idea and to really understand it a little more and what I'm like exactly calling in. But when it really comes to changing your beliefs, changing your subconscious, it's a it's every single moment that you need to be aware of your thoughts, of the stories that are playing out in the back of your mind and get them to your awareness to shift. It is that simple to reprogram your mind. You don't need to do daily affirmations. You don't need to sit and look at yourself in the mirror for 25 freaking minutes or an hour, I don't know, saying all these affirmations. Because, like I said, I can tell myself in the mirror every single day, I accept you. I unconditionally accept you. But if I don't actually look at why I don't accept myself and what that is really stemming from, I'm just lying to myself. And it just feels like I'm putting makeup over a wound that's really deep down. And then I'm therefore not actually believing that about myself. So it really just depends on your situation, right? Some things that you are changing your beliefs on, you don't need to go down the rabbit hole of. Like maybe you already might just be aware that, wow, I actually believe that I'm a loser. And maybe there's not actually, that's just an example. Maybe there's not actually a thing that you need to really go deep on about that, but you can just change the belief. And you'll know that you have to go deep on it because something in your body is going to feel disconnected. Like it's not really embodied. Like it feels strange because your mind is automatically going to be like, the fuck? No. Like, I don't actually believe that. Yeah, because your mind is so in that old program. And every time your mind's like, I don't believe that. That ain't true. Look at your reality. You need to change that right away as soon as you can. So that's what I'm trying to get through in your mind is do the reps. Do the reps as many times as you need to change that belief. Because the more that you reaffirm that belief when you actually need to, which is when the old stuff comes up, that's how you actually reprogram your mind. And that's when you start attracting that new belief or that manifestation into your life. And once that happens in your life, then it will reaffirm even more that new belief. But until that actually happens, until the frequencies around you start to align with that new belief by you being embodied and being on your 10 toes of awareness, you actually have to do a lot of the work, which is being aware, changing the thoughts. And it's really that simple. That's how you reprogram your subconscious. So I hope this video helps anyone. If you're like, oh my god, I feel like I don't have any awareness. I feel like my old thoughts are always playing out. Even if I try, meditate, bro. Just meditate. And I don't mean meditate on something like a manifestation or a guided meditation. I mean by yourself. Just focus on your breath. And every time that your mind starts to wander, you notice. You notice what those thoughts are. You don't become the thoughts. You don't start thinking. You just notice. I'm thinking about this. Come back to your breath. And then that practice that you do will start to shift into your day to day life when you're driving around, when you're with friends, and you notice, oh, wait, that old belief's coming up. And now I can change it because you have that space. So many people don't have that space between them as awareness and their thoughts. They just think they're one in the same. They think that they are their thoughts, like their thoughts are coming from them, but they're not. So the more that you can practice creating this space between you as the awareness, as the observer, and your thoughts and emotions, the more that you can master your reality. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Because I personally do this. I manifest a whole bunch of stuff in my life. I manifested trips, I manifested 5K, I manifested a guitar, I like a boyfriend. I love manifesting because it's so fun. It's so fun. And so yeah, if you can do this and if you have a really hard time meditating too, I would highly suggest doing this. Is that instead of just doing it right when you wake up or right before you go to bed, when you're like you really don't feel like sitting there, do it after something physical. You will actually be surprised how much more awareness you have and how much more comfortable you can be in like a seat or maybe you're just like sort of laying down. You will be a lot more comfortable because you just did something physical. Now, this could be like after a workout, after a run, after yoga practice. Do just like a short meditation and just start small. Just start small. And I love this one technique that I learned from this a breathwork practitioner that I worked with, was that in the meditation it was about focusing on your breath. And this was the step process. Every single time you had a thought, you would acknowledge it. I acknowledge that I'm thinking, that I had this thought, and I accept that I had this thought. I accept that I'm thinking, and I return back to my breath. That was the 3-step process. Because the thing is, like meditation, what so many people get wrong. I can make a whole other video about this. I'm just gonna give it to you real quick though. They think meditating is not about thinking, and that if you're thinking in your meditation, that you're doing it wrong. But it's actually being the observer of your thoughts, really, and staying focused on one single point, which is, in this case, what I would suggest is your breath. And so to do this is that you're basically creating that space between you and your thoughts. And instead of like getting in your thoughts and like rambling, because the thing is like if you go from one thought and then you get involved and then it goes to the next thought and then it goes to the next thought, and then it's like when you become aware of that and pull back your awareness back to your breath, you're creating that space, which is going to help you in your day-to-day life to see those unconscious stories, those unconscious thoughts, and have the choice to change them. But as long as you are so in your head and you're so believing that I am my thoughts and that it's all happening in like one quick spin around, like you don't see the space between it, it's going to be very hard to actually change your thoughts and to have the awareness to reprogram your subconscious mind. And that's how really simple this is. You literally just need your awareness. You don't need to listen to someone's video. You don't need to repeat daily affirmations. You don't need a 20 freaking minute, I don't know, routine. You just need awareness. Is that important? And yeah. So I hope this video helps you. And yeah, like get down those negative beliefs so you can recognize them when they come up and then do the work from there. It's not about a one-time ritual. It's not about a 10,000 affirmational list that are opposite of your negative beliefs. Hope this video helps, and comment below any questions that you may have or any other similar topics you'd like me to speak about, because I love making these videos. Okay.